Here's another reason your jokes may not be working. Does your joke have an emotional hook? Hi, I'm Gav. I've been doing stand-up comedy in Australia for over 26 years now, and I've watched a lot of open mic and I've written a lot of jokes. Here's why your jokes probably aren't working. For a joke to be really successful, not only does it need to surprise people, but ideally it needs to surprise them on an emotional level. Emotions are really, really powerful. That's one of the main reasons we communicate with people. It's one of the main ways we bond with other people. And if you could surprise people on an emotional level, that's when you're going to get those really strong laughs. If you have a joke, for example, like a basic pun, or what we might call a dad joke, a classic old dad joke might be something like, why did the golfer wear 2 pairs of pants? In case he got a hole in one. It's cute. It's fine. Kids might laugh at it. It's a little play on words. So the difference between what we call a dad joke and what's a good joke usually comes down to the emotional hook in the joke. So the reason that joke isn't hugely surprising is because there's no real emotional hook. There's no emotional surprise in it. There's nothing emotional at stake. There's no reason for us to be invested emotionally in that story. We don't know who the golfer is. It's just some golfer, right? If we knew who that golfer was, that might be more interesting. If it's Donald Trump who's golfing, that might make the joke a little bit more interesting. If it's your dad, that might be more interesting. But we could take the essence of that joke and turn it into something that might work in stand-up. And it's about adding emotion and adding things at stake and making things relevant. So if we took essentially that same joke, but we changed it a little bit and we said, oh, I was conceived on a golf course. Yeah, my dad used to be a caddy and he used to fool around with mum and make out on the golf course at night. And even though they wore condoms, I still got conceived. I guess dad must have got a hole in one. Look, it's not a great joke, but it is an example of how something could possibly be turned into stand-up. At the end of the day, it's going to come down to the audience whether they're going to laugh. But making the joke about your dad and your conception and your mum, and there's people involved, there's something at stake. They used condoms, they didn't want to get pregnant. There's things at stake. It becomes more emotionally engaging than just a simple play on words. So if your jokes aren't working, chances are there's nothing at stake. There's no emotional engagement. There's no reason for us to care about that joke. So have a look at your jokes and see if you can work out what is the emotional hook. What emotion is being toyed with? Maybe it's embarrassment, maybe it's excitement, maybe it's happiness, maybe it's love, maybe it's hate. Whatever the emotion is, something that the audience can hook onto emotionally will help them invest in the joke and engage in the joke, and you're more likely to get a better response from it. So there you go. I hope it's helpful. Like, follow, share.